briefest of glances can start the biggest romances. Our eyes were doing the dances and they were making advances. When our eyes met, I was like, hey, now I bet that Joe could be the one. Are you the one?
Hello, and welcome to the Boom Boom Room, your Premiere the Circle podcast. I'm your co-host, Aubrey.
And I am your other expert, Taylor.
And let's get into it.
The second episode was, it dragged a little after the first one, but that's only because the first one came in so hot. Oh, we're on different sides of this again.
No, to be fair, this season is dragging a little. The end of the second episode is when I started actually feeling like we were maybe going places.
You're just a hater.
I am a little bit of a hater, but that's because the season has been boring, in my defense.
I disagree.
All right, well, so we do the alliance chat where we start. It's funny, we start in the influencer chat and we end in the influencer chat.
With the same people.
With the same... Honestly, these two episodes, I had so many, like, thoughts TM. Where I just, like, wrote, like, unrelated to, like, specifically what's happening, I'm having, like, thoughts.
I am curious to unpack what that means as we go.
I'll inject them. So, Kevin just openly admits that he likes Garrett, Tara, Rachel, and Madeline, and then they block Darian. And Kevin is like, I'll take all the heat, and he does. And truly, no one puts any heat on Gianna at all.
I really liked it wasn't an agreement from Gianna. I also like that Gianna was the one to break the news, so she got the first word in, so it made it much harder for Kevin to, like, betray her.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of Gianna and Kevin being like, all right, this is a frustrating stalemate. What if we're an alliance now? Does this solve the problem?
It kind of makes sense.
No, it does. Like, it's very believable. I appreciate how there's differing levels of investment in this power duo, as they're calling it.
Yup.
I really like how Gianna forced Kevin to say his allies and just did not let him dodge it.
Oh my god, no, this is part of my thoughts that comes up later in this whole thing. Because this like leads into like a series of things. I guess I could just do it now and then I'll bring it up again every time we get to it. I don't know.
We're at episode 9 and 10. I feel like we can just...
Great, okay. So
we don't have to go chronological. People have seen it. Like, our listeners know what's going on, I hope.
True. I don't think Kevin can be a good wine salesman. Because in every conversation he has, it's like, well, how about you give me this? And they're like, no, Kevin, you give me this. And he's like, okay, I will. Now you give me what you said you'd give me. And they're like, no, Kevin, I never agreed to that. I'm leaving. And it's like, my brother in Christ, learn from your mistakes.
To be fair, I interpreted him as the type of wine salesman where it's like, he's the guy who serves you the drinks and like makes sure you have a good time and talks up the wine. And like, you know, he's the warm-up pitch. He's the friendly guy who gets you in a good mood before like the closers come in and talk contracts. He's the bait.
Okay, also, I feel like honestly, when it comes to like product sales, being like a very honorable person probably helps. Whereas in the game of the circle, where people just can lie, it doesn't help actually, because people are constantly just lying.
Yeah.
So Darian goes to meet Jadeja, and I kind of wish he wouldn't saw Kevin, just because I think it would have been really funny. Just like, hey, why the fuck did you eliminate me when you said you were my number one? It's like, well, you were trying to eliminate me. Like, no, I wasn't. Who told you that? Well, Madeline told me that. Well, that was a lie.
That would have been fun, but I'm honestly glad he didn't go yell at Kevin. These two episodes did Kevin's been on like the slow upswing for me. These two episodes did a lot to like, honestly, it would be pretty funny if Kevin won. I would enjoy that. So having him not get yelled at by Darian, who seemed kind of actually mad, I thought it was good for the vibes.
I just think it would be funny because I think it would be one of those things where like Darian would come in at like a 10 and then very quickly hit like a 2 when he realized Kevin isn't malicious, he's an idiot.
Yeah. Also, I feel like Kevin is probably pretty good at disarming people, not in a literal
Probably.
sense, but in an emotional
Well,
sense.
But honestly, Darian meeting Jadasia was very fun and very cute. It
was funny how awkward it was.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't feel very awkward.
I felt so awkward the whole time. Like, I enjoyed seeing Jadasia happy, and it was cute, but I thought the whole thing was super awkward.
Oh, I got zero awkwardness from it.
That's really funny.
Honestly, I think it'd be really funny if they just ended up like dating and being a couple and like actually getting married from the circle.
She's not kidding about the kids, though. Darian needs to be told that.
No.
Like, hey, up front, that wasn't a joke. If you don't want to
might
have
get
a
away
lot
with
of
5.
kids, yeah, you should not go down this road.
Yeah, no, absolutely. No, she was not joking, and she's not joking about any of it. And I feel like he picked up on that and like very quickly was like, okay, you know what, I can go with this. Like, I thought it was maybe a little bit of a joke, and it's not a joke, and I still like it, actually.
You know, he definitely had the energy of like coming in prepared to be a good sport and be told like, oh yeah, I have a husband, or like I'm gay, and it was all part of the game. Sorry, man. And you could have been like, haha, yeah, you're hot, and it was cool. It's part of the game. I don't mind. But then when it was just like, no, I'm in fact, these are not jokes. I'm this serious. Like, we did get married. I'm pretty sure, according to the records.
You know, it's really funny, and I mean, we get to see them kiss, which is like very fun. We don't really get that in the show.
I was shocked, scandalized.
I was clutching my pearls for one.
Yeah, frankly.
But then we get the group chat, sort of the next day or later that night. I don't really know what time it is. I forgot. And I love watching a game where there's like asymmetrical information, because like Madeline's like, well, obviously they all know Garrett's talking about me. And Garrett's like, I think the answer's Madeline, but I don't know. And Tiara's like, who are they talking about?
Yeah. Well, also, I like Darian more in his outro video. Like, his outro video was the best appearance he made all season, is what I'll say.
True.
I feel like he brought some real charisma to that we hadn't been getting to see as much of.
He does better in person.
Even though he wasn't in person either.
Well, he was in video, which is closer.
It is closer.
I love that in that first group chat, everyone's like, well, obviously Kevin believed some dumb fucking lie. And it's just like, none of them were like, Kevin's a sneaky little bitch, except for Gianna. Call him a snake, and everyone else is like, well, the idiot.
The chat was messy. People were hot. Who is the source is definitely a contender for title, because it just kept coming up in a way that I love.
Tree emoji is also a really funny 2-word title. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
That is a good one. I wonder if we can do emojis. There's no way.
If you can, then it's don't beat around the bush tree emoji.
I think Tiara's game.
Tiara.
No, that's not her name, is it?
No, Tiara's her name.
Tiara's her name. Okay, cool. Her game doesn't make any sense. I have no idea what this character is.
What the fuck is she talking about?
I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know what her strategy is. This could be, it's true of this chat, but it's also true of everything else that happens over the next 2 episodes. I don't understand her game, her character, any of it.
I've been used by whomst?
By Kevin.
I've been betrayed. No, you fucking haven't.
Well, no, Tiara felt entitled to know everything about everyone, and the fact that you didn't is a betrayal.
Well, okay, here's the thing, though. Here's the wildest fucking part of that to me. Like, oh, you didn't... I know we're sort of getting ahead of ourselves. I'm not that far ahead. Oh, like, you didn't tell me, like, about the Bros Alliance. Andy was, like, already fucking gone by the time you could, like, get voted on. And also, I said my number 1 threats were Andy and Darian. Andy left immediately after you showed up, and when I became influencer, Darian left. Like, even if I did have a Bros Alliance with him, clearly I wasn't that aligned with the Bros.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
how is everyone giving me flack for betraying my fucking alliances? And you're sitting here being like, I can't believe you didn't tell me about these apparently fake alliances. What the fuck? No. And he handled that conversation so much better than me. Because I would have
no.
said slurs. Not actually. I would have been like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You fucking idiot. Like, how dare you come at me like this?
And it was all so pointless because it walks away with all being forgiven, apparently. And it's like,
It was a great fucking conversation for Kevin, because Kevin was just like, yeah, your delusions are correct. And Tara's like, I really like this guy, actually. And it's like, yeah, well, I guess the voices are talking back, so I'm wrong. Fuck.
But how do you really feel?
Like, a lot of fucking ways, and they're not very it's just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, A, you sound crazy. B, when you try to explain yourself, you sound entitled and crazy. And C, even if you're entitled and crazy, you're still fucking wrong. How are you wrong trifold? Like, girl, get a grip.
Madeline and Garrett had a chat too, and it's just total bullshit that Madeline eats up immediately and without hesitation.
I was like, at this moment, I was like, Garrett's not making it past like another 2 episodes because they're starting to make me like him. Like, he's gonna get the hint of a personality and then get fucking ousted, and I'm probably right.
No, I agree. Garen. Jesus.
Garen got Gurn.
Yeah, Garen got Gurn personality. And yeah, he's got to be going pretty soon.
Also, I will point out, we sort of passed over this in the group chat. This show validated an immoral I had previously given.
Oh?
Yeah, the number one rule to lying is to lie to yourself first. And Madeline's doing that. She's like, I'm forgetting that Andy didn't tell me this shit that I'm lying about.
No,
like, I'm starting to believe it. And
Madeline
that's
is such a hater.
Madeline is a liar, a hater, a bitch, and I hate her and I love her. Like, girl, you can't be lying on people's names like that and then be mad at them for getting mad that you're lying. Like, actually, sorry, you shouldn't. Clearly you can, and that was my bad, actually. She's doing the correct thing when you lie, in my opinion, which is acting like you're not lying, which means doing the irrational shit, like being like, I can't believe you think I'm a liar, and she's doing it in private too, which is how I know she's a good liar. Because like you really have to gaslight yourself into believing your truth if you want to lie, and I respect her for that. So annoying, love her.
It is just legitimately impressive to be angry that you're telling lies. Essentially.
No, you're angry that other people are calling you a liar, because I'm not.
Because I'm just going around telling lies.
I made a truth, and therefore it's the truth.
Oh my god. I can't.
Let's go on to the Circle AMA. Circle Alma? Fuck.
This was a good game. It was like the players didn't make as much of it as maybe we could have. But the format was good. This is what we've been asking for, like, to a T.
I will say, I do know that this episode was recorded and aired long before our episode comes out, the last one. We had just been saying that they need to let them choose their people, and they did it. They've been listening. They've been bugging our apartments in the future.
There's no proof from my perspective that we cannot change our world.
I
am immune
agree
to your consultation.
Sure. So Kevin asked Jadeja who's the flavor.
What?
So Kevin asked Jadeja who their favorite player is and why.
I feel like you still said favorite.
So Kevin asked Jadeja who their player is.
Ew, what is the energy in the podcast today?
I don't know. I don't know. I'm fucking starting back at Circle AMA. Which, by the way, I loved them not knowing what the fucking AMA is. That was really, really funny. That
I-
like 2 of them knew in total.
I honestly could see myself with it pushed together like Circle-llama. Oh no, that's not what it says. But you might get the soundbite out of me.
There needed to be a space, or like circle needed to be lowercase.
Anything.
Anything. So Kevin's first. He asks Jadeja, "Who's your favorite player and why?" To which Jadeja answers, "Garrett, Madeline, Rachel, and Gianna." There's 7 people in this house. You've named a majority of them.
Yeah.
Even more so when you consider you can't name yourself. It's like they're loyal.
I appreciate the boldness, though, of just being like, well, I won't tell you who my favorite is, but by process of elimination, I'll tell you who my least favorites are.
Right.
Kevin.
Tierra. Then Gianna asks Garrett basically the same question: who do you like, who don't you like? He was much more specific by saying he likes Jadeja and he does not like Kevin.
Kevin.
Right? That's 2 strikes for Kevin. Tierra is asked by Madeline, original thought or just a follower? It was a bad question, but don't worry, Tierra gives a bad answer.
This was such a softball, because as much as I don't understand her like Tierra, the character that doesn't make sense, she's definitely not guilty of not having original thoughts. She's just a fucking uppity bitch. So I don't know. I lost my own point in this. This is don't try me, try sushi. Like,
Don't
it's funny,
try me, try
but
sushi. What? Who the fuck is sushi? Jadeja. Got me, gal. Garrett asks Rachel, who's dirty and who's clean? Mama, same question.
Yeah.
Anyways, obviously Gianna's clean, Kevin is dirty. God, that's
fucking Kevin.
3 strikes now out of 4 questions. Fuck. All right, Jadeja asks Kevin, who are you betraying next? Fuck, it's his question and he already got a strike? Didn't even answer.
The piling onto Kevin while he just stood there being like, yeah, I am public enemy number 1, aren't I? I would say me. God, this sucks.
No, I would be having a fucking fit if I can't feel ganged up on, as you know about me. I start swinging my blade wildly to protect myself.
You do the link charge up when you start feeling ganged up on and just swing. You just start spinning.
Get away from me! I would not have reacted. I would have been like, who the fuck did I betray in the first place? Like, 'cause it's just so my nature to be like, I didn't betray fucking Andy. Like, Mama, that wasn't me. Darian tried to come for me. I didn't betray him. Like, leave me the fuck alone, you cunts.
I mean, that is kind of what he said. He basically did say, like, look, I'm just playing the game. It wasn't a betrayal. It was tit for tat.
Yeah. He was a lot nicer about it.
He takes the whole thing really well. It doesn't, like, he really just acts like, yeah, this week they're going to hate me and next week they won't. And somehow he's right.
Yeah. Yeah. So then Tierra says to Rachel, second question to Rachel, hey, catfish.
This one was fun.
That's fun. That was a shady question. And Rachel, as Jadeja points out, does not say she's not a catfish, which, like, even if she did, that wouldn't matter to the people who think she's a catfish, but whatever. And Gianna's like, I don't care. As a catfish, I don't care. And it's like, yep, that's okay, great, cool. And then Rachel asks Kevin a lifeguard question. And this is strikes like 7, 8, and 9, I think, or whatever.
Something like that.
Fuck, he fucks it up.
Dude, we cover all signs. He didn't even try. He basically said, I don't know.
Yeah, no, what you do is at best you give a firm answer, and if someone is specifically like, hey, that's not true, it's like, well, that's what I was taught, mama. Like, so, sorry, not every place in the country is the same, question mark, question mark. But
Or you
like,
paint with a broad brush that feels specific. Because, like, I didn't know the answer, but it turns out I kind of did. I thought about it for a second, and what I came up with was drowning doesn't look like it does in the movies. If you look for that, people are gonna die on your watch. And it has like an I take it serious tone without actually saying what it is like. Like, I don't know how well that one would go, but at least it's not, well, I learned all kinds of drowning.
yeah, my answer after a couple seconds was one of two thoughts, which was one was my first instinct was like drowning is like something that happens like real fast, so you just got to be like locked in on everybody because like the second someone is like gone from your view, you have to be like, where did they go? Which kind of is like they slip under, sure. Or the second one is like, I'm not sure if this is what you mean, but like one of the biggest dangers that no one like is really thinking about is riptides and how fast you can just get like sucked out to sea. To which it's like that is like a specific question sort of about swimming and swimming safety. And it is maybe just a genuine misunderstanding of like what the question is specifically asking.
I think that with answers like any of what we offered, at worst, Rachel would be like, that wasn't the answer. Because we've seen it happen before where someone tried to catch a catfish with like a trivia question, and the
Yes.
person wasn't catfishing, but like didn't give the answer the other person wanted. So like on that level, I don't think anything Kevin said necessarily would have meant anything to Rachel, but I don't think anybody else would have been sus about those answers.
Exactly. Instead, he just gave up. Ugh,
He surrendered.
surrendered. Anyways, Gianna and Jadeja have a conversation where Gianna's like, it was Kevin's fault. And Gianna's just like, I know, I brought a gun to shoot him. Shoot him to death with. And I love Jadeja. I hope she wins. She's sort of my to win at the moment. Because she knows how in every and she does it so calculating. That's the thing too. She's sitting there like fully calm, and it's just like, okay, time to make them cry. When I was abused, and it's just like, yes, bitch.
No,
I love her. She's calculating. She's funny. She's like the nicest person in there.
I love how above it all her energy really is most of the time. Not in a snooty way, but in like a genuine, like in the way you portray like a god character in D&D, where it's like
she's fucking
your
regal.
mortal issues don't trifle me.
Yeah. It went so hard when she's like, well, I've wanted Kevin out since the beginning, but I knew Darian needed him, so whatever. But now Darian's gone, so bye, Kevin. And it's like, that's so funny, I fear you're amazing.
Yeah, no, I do also really like Jadeja. She's a lot of fun. I think it's interesting that Gianna plans to betray the Kevin Alliance ultimately. Like that, I think is a big thing in here. That as much as Gianna is working with Kevin now, I think it remains true that the plan is not really to bring Kevin to the end.
I don't think it was at this point in time. I think later on it becomes more real as they see sort of the value of it.
I don't disagree. I still kind of get, if I was going to have to bet on it, I would bet that Gianna would still take Rachel or Jadeja over
I agree.
Kevin.
I 100% agree.
Also, Snake with the perm is just incredible. The hyper focus we have from the boys on the perm, that
on what's not a perm,
on what is allegedly not a perm. If that's not a thing at the finale, I'm going to be really disappointed.
God, that would be so funny.
Where he does, I don't know how you prove something is or isn't a perm, but I want to.
It's natural hairstyle. You figure it out pretty quickly.
I just want a forensic hair spurt coming in to offer a ruling.
Amazing. That would be really funny, actually. So then we get Kevin and Rachel talking, and Kevin is just like, yeah, I'm not a fucking lifeguard, but like, you're a catfish, To which Rachel says, "No, I'm not." And he goes, "Fuck, damn it, I was wrong." It's like, what the fuck, Kevin, you idiot.
I love how
You
she didn't
absolute
even.
marionette of a boy.
I love how Rachel didn't even commit to the lie here. She just told a truth about herself that implied she wasn't a catfish. And Kevin didn't go, well, that felt like a dodge. She's just like, oh, she's a nice Jewish girl. I'm an idiot.
To be fair, she didn't say,
God.
"I am Rachel."
Well, that's true. But I still count that as essentially like a 3/4 truth at the very worst. Like, I'm presenting myself as that's the argument every catfish makes, but like
Oh no, absolutely. That would have passed Fey law. Don't get me wrong. Like technically, there was no untruth there.
I am Rachel is pushing it like to the razor's edge, but
But she is Rachel. Rachel is like she's Rachel.
yeah,
She's puppeting Rachel. Rachel is her.
and I agree, but
Yes.
I just love how that it went right by, especially because that was the half of the trade. Kevin offered up his info in exchange for this, got fucking nothing, and then was like,
again.
And then was like, yeah, that you win some, you lose some. I owe that girl some wine.
As Kevin would be psychotic at this point. And maybe I think he's shielded from it, and that's why he's not gone insane yet. But can we quickly go over the Kevin timeline?
Sure.
The Kevin cinematic universe.
I mean, I do think Kevin's also maybe more stable than you are, but let's run through
Mama adores more stable than I am. Actually, that's not fair. Doors are pretty stable.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Jenga tower's more stable than I am. Is that better?
It's a more apt analogy, but I don't think it's true in the reverse way. You're not that unstable.
Disagree. You don't know me. Sorry. Turns out how well medicated I am. Kevin is in the Bros Alliance, gets rid of his girlfriend for the Bros. That's sort of like the initial branding of like, ooh, Kevin's kind of a traitor. To which Kevin's like, no. Like, and like people are like, no. He like stuck up for like his true alliance. Like, and like Kevin's not a traitor. Great, okay. Andy gets sent home. Madeline makes up a lie about Kevin being a traitor. Everyone's like, yeah, remember? Kevin is kind of a traitor. Madeline makes up another lie, tricks Kevin into sending Darian home. Everyone's like, yeah, Kevin's a fucking traitor. See, like, he in his mind has not done any, like, he has truly never been a traitor to anyone. He was loyal to the Bros until they weren't to him. And then he's like loyal to this new alliance with Gianna. And then you have his like interactions with like people where it's like Rachel came to him one day and was like, hey, let's be friends. Let's share close personal details about ourselves and get like and bond. And he's like, this is great. And then like days later, she's like, and by the way, Kevin sucks in the group chat. And it's like, what the fuck is that about? And then he goes to message her a second time and it's like, hey, like, did I do something? And she's like, well, you're not real. You're not a lifeguard. He's like, okay, you fucking got me, but like, you're in fake either. She goes, no, I'm not. He goes, God damn it. He goes, well, why do you hate me? She goes, I don't, by the way. Like, we're good. Like, we're friends now. And he's like, okay, great, I guess. And also, I'm working with Gianna. And then Gianna is in another room being like, well, I'm going to stab him, obviously. Like, fuck Kevin. And it was like 3 seconds from doing so. And then, like, it's like, what if I don't? Like, if Kevin knew, like, watching the show back as Kevin must be fucking wild. Because, like, what the fuck do you mean everyone was fucking me constantly from every direction and I was sitting in a box out of fucking where? Like, what the fuck? Why am I the fucking lightning rod for everyone's fuckery?
Well, but not only the fuckery, they made you influencer after all of that. Like, what is going on?
Like, what the fuck? Why have you guys made me the main character only to punish me constantly?
Because he's the main character. We got to keep it fresh and interesting.
So, episode 10 opens.
Oh my god. That was funny.
Kevin must feel like I would feel gaslit as Kevin at this point. Because he's being gaslit a little bit.
Well, he doesn't know, though, so.
Yeah, the gas lights just are flashing. Episode 10 opens with a conversation with Kevin and Gianna, aka our main character.
AKA Gianna and the Perm.
Gianna and the Perm.
Excellent quote.
They decide to go after Garrett, but then they have a conversation about betraying people, which I only think is notable because then later Madeline and Rachel have a conversation about betraying people, and I think someone else has a conversation about betraying people. And it's like, how are we all sitting here being like, well, Kevin's a traitor? Anyways, I think I might eliminate my besties. Like, hypocrites!
Well, it's because Kevin actually did it. I'm just thinking, I haven't done it yet.
I'm just making plans to do it.
Yeah, it's a thought crime.
Yeah.
But yeah, Kevin and Gianna basically agree that Garrett leaving benefits them, and Kevin pushes pretty strongly for like Jadesha and Rachel next. And I enjoyed Gianna's, or I guess really the boys' debate over it, because Gianna just gave like a yeah, let's go, but the boys is like, he's talking about all of our allies. Like it's such a weird position for Kevin to be in now. Just openly talking with Gianna, scheming to get rid of, her allies.
Yeah. Also, did you notice the thing that he did the entire episode?
Who he?
Kevin, when he's talking to Gianna.
No, what did he do?
It's like, oh yeah, great, we're gonna go after Garrett. And it's like, yeah, and then maybe we go after Jadasia and Rachel. And they're, yeah, like maybe like Rachel or Jadasia and like Madeline, or like Rachel and Madeline. And it's like, right, Jadasia and Rachel, I agree.
Yeah.
And he
no, I
like,
did.
No, like, you're totally right, Jadasia or Rachel. And it's like, and they don't seem to notice that he keeps just erasing Madeline's name. Or at least they don't talk about it.
They're letting him get away with it, if nothing else. Yeah. The Zen montage was funny. I got a kick out of that.
Yeah. We get Tira and Jadasia having a conversation, which
this was awesome.
Holy fuck. Jadasia hates this woman.
And I get it. If I only knew Tierra the way Jadasia does, I would have, I don't think, really anything good to say.
Mama, I've seen the man behind Jadasia and I'm running out of good things to say.
The man behind Jadasia seems fine. It's a bit of a red flag that this is the character you cooked up. Just a messy, insufferable bitch. But
right,
I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that there's a strategy there.
No, I think he's feeling his Tierra a little too much.
No,
he's a little lost in the TT. But no, because what made me fucking laugh is Tara's like, I'm gonna talk about like being adopted and like my emotional stuff. And Jadisha's like, oh yeah, that's sad. And then she cries for herself, talks about her own emotional stuff, and is like, yeah, me and Tara are doing the same thing. I need to eliminate her.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I love how much Jadasia hates Tierra. That's so, she's like, she almost made me feel bad for her, which means she could get the others to actually feel bad for her.
No, this was what locked in Jadasia for me, honestly. Because I was all ready to write down, like, how silly it is that Jadasia was hating Tierra until, like, oh, we bonded over coming from a hard family background. Wah. Not to, that was harsh, but you know how I mean.
No, but that's what Jadasia fucking said,
like,
quite frankly.
Like trauma bonding, but, and I was like, oh, fucking, yeah, sure, now they're friends. And the fact that Jadasia walks out, it's like, wow, she's really good at that. I bet she's done that to other people. We need to kill her. It's just...
Jadasia is just so fucking locked into this game and is so good at the emotional part of it in a way that I don't think a lot of people are.
Also, she proved that you can be locked into the game and get a boyfriend.
Right? True.
Just saying.
Also, I have another thought TM here, which is I think maybe the reason why we also like Jadasia so much is she's playing a lot like previous seasons did. Where a lot of people will like start a chat and they're like, alliance, gameplay. And like, even because what made me really notice it is like Rachel and Madeline, I think started, or no, Gary and Rachel started talk. I don't know. Two people started a chat, and I think one of them was Rachel. And they send Rachel a message, and Rachel's like, oh, we're going to pretend to like talk before we talk alliance, like gameplay. And like in previous seasons, people just actually talked. Like gameplay got brought up, sure, but like people had interpersonal connections in a way that like don't exist in this season or are very rare.
I think we're finding a dynamic where it's becoming, where you're getting much more players. Yeah. I think there's still a lot of legitimate like interpersonal connections. I think the whole funny enough, Gianna Rachel one.
I agree.
It's between two catfish, but like they have a meaningful personal connection.
And I guess that's what I mean. It's like the actual oh my god, sorry. I fell a little bit.
Aren't you sitting?
Yeah. I just shut up. I didn't fall. My like arm just like stopped reacting for a second and it just like slammed to my table. Like, I don't know. My brain stopped thinking about it, I guess. I think part of what makes A, Gianna and Rachel's bond so strong, and B, JJ just so watchable and like so fun to root for, is the fact that they like to get like Gianna and Rachel's connection is very old circle, where it's like we genuinely like each other, and that is the entire like there is no gameplay reason for us to support each other this much. This is entirely based on liking each other. And that's
true.
Jadacia's like a lot of her things. And I think maybe that's why she's not in like a lot of the group chat, like alliance group chats, is because people just like her.
Yeah, I'm curious to see as we get into the end game if there are shifts in this.
I do worry that that's going to be what ruins Jadacia's end game, is that she hasn't strategied, and when it's like when being liked isn't enough. But we'll see.
I think she hasn't been scheming hard, but I don't think that's a lack of strategizing. I think if anything, it'll benefit her that she isn't pinned down as just a strategic player when her strategy is just to be a likable player.
Don't
be messy. Stay out of the trauma. You know, like
I do think if she gets to the end, she'll get a lot of people who being like, I don't know how Jadacia's gonna vote, but like she's very real to me, and like I'll put her like a spot or two higher. I'm hoping. I'm living in this reality where she's winning.
I think she stands a chance, genuinely.
I do too. But then we get to a game called Pick 3. Did you pick 3?
Which 3 did you pick? I did.
Yeah. You go first.
I if I was left to think about it longer, I might change this answer, but I tried to do it quickly to represent like gut instinct. And I picked sleep, pets, and the concept of the wheel, which I'm assuming is what they meant by that.
I think they did too. Yeah. I did therapy, money, and music. Therapy, I'm not stable. I need it. They're like out of the pills. Music, I would die if I couldn't listen to music. I could replace most people with music, honestly. And money, I'm not being poor. I can't do that. I don't have that in me.
The concept of a wheel is they put some stupid ones in there.
I don't care.
It's just like, what? I'm gonna have to start fucking walking places now? That's not gonna happen. I'm American.
No, tread ovals. We'll be an oval-based society.
What does that mean, Aubrey? I think
ellipticals.
I think an oval is just a bad wheel. That still represents the concept of a wheel.
Cars will just use treads.
I mean, like a track like you find on like a tank or a bulldozer isn't a wheel, but there are wheels that make them work. Like the belts
we
run
couldn't
over.
make the wheel without the thumb anyway, so it's fine.
I think we could. I think
this isn't a fun conversation. I'm just gonna warn you.
Is it not? I was debating if this is going to be a fun conversation for anyone.
I mean, feel free to go for it. You can leave it in on your own. I feel like this is where people tap out a little bit mentally.
Then I'll leave it at, I feel like we could get around the problem of not having thumbs anymore, especially having the concept of them and just not like the physical apparatus anymore. And now
this game is stupid.
This is a stupid game.
This is a stupid game with stupid fucking choices that are uneven. Because like it's like fundamentally, how are you playing this? Are you playing this legitimately or not? Because if you're playing this legitimately, fine, you win. I guess it's sleep because otherwise I die. My thumbs and I guess the fucking wheel. Congrats, you fucking tricked me into picking the 3 most essential things on that list. Like. Whoop-de fucking do. Or are we gonna have fun? In which case, take the wheel off. Take soap. Soap is weird.
Soap is weird. It's a weird one. I guess that I understand that that's kind of the point. It's a stupid point. The only thing that came out of this at all that could even be remotely considered worth talking about, and even that is stretching, is that everyone was scandalized that Rachel said sex. in like
Everyone was
a
skinless.
fun way. They're like, ooh.
Ooh, yeah. We learned Madeline was dirty. That's all. We also learned that.
We knew, what do you mean we learned Madeline was dirty?
She said she's a dirty girl. Like, she's not a clean
Oh,
person.
yeah, in like a very literal
Oh,
what's
yeah.
even soap sense, yeah.
Yeah. And then also, I loved Kevin choosing money. Everyone's like, fucking 22-year-old little boy. And it's just like, he's like, I like money.
I mean, y'all are in a contest to win money. Like, nobody can be
I don't want to
mad.
be poor. And I think that's not unreasonable.
Look, I agree.
Also, again, Garrett's impressions of people during this was so funny.
No, it was. I also love the gym's just a room from
The
Garrett.
gym's just a room. Oh my god. I'm sorry. How dare you be that in shape? I can just work out anywhere. Get a fucking life. The worst part is you have one. Ugh.
Yeah. No, Garrett had a really good 2 episodes. We got to see a lot more of his personality.
I'm so
I feel
sad
like
that
he's a very
almost certainly
sensitive
going
guy.
home.
I feel bad when like he feels like he does stuff wrong when feels like a misunderstanding of the game a little bit. I feel like he's maybe too sensitive for it, which is sweet.
It's funny because it's like oh god, I feel mean. It's like listen, my opinions are correct. I didn't like him. I do like him now. That's okay. Bro, we gotta go to Italy.
I mean,
skipped ahead a little bit. We skipped a couple conversations there, but like, fuck, that line was such a good title line and so funny.
It's so funny. The way they said it too.
Bro, we gotta go to Italy. Like, holy
everyone's going to Italy.
Everyone we know's gotta go to Italy. Like, oh my, you sound like fucking characters on a show.
Oh no.
Bro, we gotta go to Italy. That sounds like the start of like an American Pie movie.
I've never seen it.
That's not good. It's problematic.
Madeline
and Rachel have a conversation. Oh, go ahead.
I said exactly what you did. Madeline and Rachel scheme to save Kevin, and then they want to get out Garrett and Jadacia. And then
Rachel and Garrett have a conversation, and Rachel says, well, I can't eliminate Garrett. That'd be so mean.
He's a nice guy. Which is funny. Not how the game works.
Immediately just turned your fucking back on what you told Madeline. Insane how quickly you did that.
It is like, I hope she won't be mad. It's like, I bet she will be. Yeah. I think even the narrator chimed in for that one.
Right?
Oh my god.
And then we get to the ratings.
Yeah.
And while watching the ratings, I realized that Kevin was going to be an influencer.
Oh, yeah.
Because Jadacia put Kevin first.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, oh my god. And people still haven't started voting Gianna low because she's been the influencer too much. This is a third Gianna Kevin session. Gianna and the Perm back for their third tour.
I love how much of a hater Madeline is at this point. Everyone wants to lick her mouth.
Oh my god. But also, yes, I love Madeline. Madeline calling them all losers also is so funny.
Yes.
I love that
multiple
she's a hater.
times.
That's so good. Again, with the whole Kevin being gaslit thing, could you imagine for an entire day having everybody come to you be like, well, you're a liar, you're a piece of shit, you suck, we all dislike you, you're second popularity. What?
You're exactly as popular as you were before we said this.
Well, last week he was like at least last and was just made an influencer, but like,
oh shit, I forgot.
Tyrion made him an influencer that he eliminated Daryl
after being berated for a few days.
Yeah, fucking, he was in last place because people did not like his previous choice as an influencer. His first time around, someone made him an influencer for the second time. He made a choice that was even more disliked, and then got elected into being an influencer a third time. What the really fuck? Funny.
Oh god. That's even better. Honestly, Team Kevin, K-Fern.
A little bit.
The fact that you can just blunder your way to victory.
I have a habit of like, if someone can villain their way to the end, I'm like, they deserve it a little bit. If you can get to the end and still be like the most hated person, if they get a chance to like make their final arguments for themselves, he deserves to be like, you all hated me and didn't trust me, and I'm here.
Kevin's not even a villain though. He's just
Yeah.
just got pushed down the stairs and wound up like falling into the elevator to the penthouse. I don't know. The analogy fell apart, but
No, truly, it's like someone tried to push him downstairs and it was just a slide. He's just like having a good time. It's like, well, fuck.
Yeah, and at the bottom of the slide, you win $100.
100,000, I think, but yeah.
So influencer chat.
Oh, I was gonna talk about the rankings. How when Garrett got 7th, he looked shattered, destroyed, ruined. It looked like it physically took the breath out of him, and I was like, oh, that sucked to watch.
Someone needs to remind Garrett how little it has to do with him.
How little? Influencer chat, which I honestly, it's like Rachel. Yeah, let's keep her because she makes us look good. Madeline, yep. Kevin likes her, so fine, whatever. And then Kevin is just like, come on, Jadeja, and Gianna's like, no. And then it's like, well, we'll see what happens. And it's like, well, they're gonna eliminate Garrett. Come on. I don't believe that Kevin is gonna get Gianna to do anything Gianna doesn't want to do. And Gianna doesn't want to eliminate Jadeja.
A part of me feels like it's possible. And I can't put a finger on why, but it could just be good editing. You might be right that there's really no possibility. Like, I don't want it to be Jadeja. That would suck. But it would be one of the biggest surprises.
Yeah. Also, it's so weird, and I guess I get why, that, like, Kevin and Tiara are, like, a thing now. Because Kevin is, like, truly like, I need someone in my corner. And so he's, like, latched onto Tiara. Like, it felt like that would have been, like, otherwise a pretty safe eliminate. Like, she came in late, she leaves early.
Yeah, I don't disagree. The at-risk chat, though. Garrett comes in and is the one to say, hey, guys, what the fuck?
Hey, yeah. Like, who the fuck rated Kevin high? To which no one really responds. And I know Jadeja's like, well, I remember putting it first. Oops. Maybe. But not much else happens.
I mean, Tiana likes it, and Rachel doesn't, essentially. Yeah. It kind of furthers the divide. Which is a bummer. Because, to be honest, it would have been a little exciting if Garrett got, like, Garrett's goons or something out of it and tried to upset the power dynamic. Where it's like, hey, we're losing because they're winning, clearly. We should win instead.
It'll be interesting to see if the influencer chat, or no, if the disruptor shows up before the elimination and, like, saves Garrett in some way. Or if Baby's just going.
Yeah. I think
I will say,
it kind of seems like he's just going to go. No, go. What were you going to say?
He's going. Doing this episode in 2-episode batches works really well because we get an elimination on average every 2 episodes, which works out a lot better for the flow.
I agree. I've been enjoying doing 2 at a time, both for that reason. It's just a more consistent thing. It feels more complete. And also we can skip the boring parts.
Yeah. I guess because they drop them in batches of 4, so like they expect you to get through 4 of them at a time.
Yeah. No, I personally feel like it has improved our final product by cutting a lot of the fat off.
Yeah, I agree.
And speaking of the fat,
done.
Yeah, we're here at the end. We've done it. Let me pull up our email and see if anything is in the old inbox.
Please do.
And there's nothing in the email. tbbrpodcast@gmail.com if you want to write in. That's tbbrpodcast. I feel like I slur it now. And if you don't know what I'm saying, you don't stand a chance of actually getting it. But before we let you go about your merry weekend, Aubrey, what is the moral or immoral of this week?
The moral of this week is a lesson that I feel like we try to teach to our children, but we don't do fully. which like we teach very much like be yourself, like don't let others influence who you are, and all of that and stuff. And I think that's true. And I think what really needs to be remembered is that the best way to be liked is to be hated by everyone because you're so true to yourself. Like when everyone's telling you to stop and you're too much and you're destructive and you're hurting the people around you, lean in. You're seconds away from breaking through and being their favorite person. It's working so well for Kevin. He just keeps Kevining all over things, and it's going great for him, so eventually it'll go great for me too. So I'm just leaning in. I'm ordering Chinese food.
What kind?
Oh, I don't want to say it'll hurt you.
Is it sesame chicken?
Sesame chicken. Oh no, you're having an allergic reaction.
No, you fed it to me.
No, well, that's the end. I'm cutting.
Tell me, baby, what's the problem?